Guys, welcome back to another video from Car Help for You. So in today's video we're working on a VW Passat. So this one is a 2016 plate, and what we're doing is we're changing the starter motor. So from what I could see online, you've got to take the battery out and all that crap, and do you know what, it looked more than what needed to be done. And I've seen other people tell me, oh, you need to get it from underneath. Now it is fiddly, but you can get it from the top, and as you can see there, we haven't got the battery removed, and even the airbox, we haven't actually fully disconnected it. All I've done, so when yours is covered up, what you'll want to do is basically what I've done if you want to get to this part here. So the airbox at the bottom is connected here. As you can see, we've got a leaf in there, so I'll clean that out. I'll open this up and clean this out before I put it back. But you've got this little part here, which ultimately goes a little something like that there. So it goes like that. All you want to do is pull it out of this box here and then pull it forward. You can see here, someone's done it before and they have pretty much ruined it. You don't need to be using that much power, to be honest with you. The easiest way is literally unscrew this and it pops out. That one was already out, so I didn't really need to put any pressure on it. But it makes sense that someone's tried to remove it and they haven't been able to remove it properly. But anyway, once you've done that, you've got a little breather pipe underneath, which is just here. Now, you don't need to mess with that. That'll just come out nicely. The airbox itself, if we just have a look, it's got no other pipes other than the one that goes at the top. So at the top here, we had this pipe here. I removed this one because I wasn't sure if there's any clips down there while the pipe, while it was here like that. I removed the sensor cable as well because I thought I am going to have to take it off. You don't need to remove that. You just push them to the sides. The fault code that this car was given was basically starter. So when you try to turn the ignition on, it's got the push start button. So when we press the start button, it was just making a click noise. So you could hear the starter wanting to engage, but it wasn't. Now, if your car does do this and you've got the little spring icon, so the glow plug icon going off, and you can hear the starter just going like, it's almost like a click, click, click. That's not doing anything else. Remove the airbox and your starter's located right in there, so just there like that. And all you'll do is just get to the back of the starter and just smack it with something. So in this case, I just used the back of my pry bar. This car had broken down in an Asda shopping park. Car park. And all I did when I got there was I got to the starter and I just went like that. And whilst I was doing this, I told the person inside the car, press the start button. And we just kept doing it. I'd done it for about 30 seconds, I'd say, or a minute at max. Just kept going like that while he was trying to start it and it fired up. Now, if yours doesn't fire up, what you can do is just bump start it. So when I say bump start it, some people call it push start. What you do is you put the car into first gear and you push it forwards. As soon as the car's rolling quite a bit, what you do is lift off the clutch onto the accelerator and it's almost forcing the car to start. You can do this in reverse also, but if you don't want to do any of that, just get the car recovered to your nearest garage or to your place, wherever you're going to work on it. So, the diagnostics machine, we connected it up and it said, starter may be jammed, electrical malfunction. So immediately I've got to start thinking, is there any of the wires damaged? So once you've removed the airbox, you'll just quickly inspect the wires. Now when I smacked the back of the starter, it determined it for me that, do you know what, the starter's on its way out. I could hear it clicking, but it wasn't doing anything else. This isn't the original starter for this car. This has been, a second-hand one has been put in from a scrapyard. Which again, I don't recommend. If you're going to put a starter motor in, put a new one in. We've got a new one there, put a new one in. You get the cheapest and then you get the expensive ones. I always recommend going for something mid, just because I've never had a cheap one let me down, but I always say cheapest isn't always best. You don't want to do the job twice. Do it once, do it properly, and then it's out the door. So once you've got your airbox removed, you can just push it to the side. You don't need to disconnect it there. You can if you want the extra space. What you then need to do is remove the battery connection. So in this case, I've just removed the positive terminal. As you can see, it's off there. It's just sat there like that. All you need to remove that is you lift this flap up here and it's got a 10mm nut there. Remove that, push it to the side. Now you're left with this much room. This job does require your finger eyes. So if we just go down to it there and I remove this out of the way, there's quite a lot of wires involved, which is the only part that gets a bit fiddly. I'm just trying to put the torch somewhere so you guys can actually see. So if you look down there, we've got this cable here, which goes onto the back of the starter motor. All you do to unplug this one is you pull that red tab back. So I can't do it right now, but I can't do it one-handed. But basically what you do is you pull the red tab back, and then you just get a little bit of a pick tool, and what it does, if you see that black one next to the red one here, you just kind of pry that up a little bit. Now a pick tool is more than enough. Now on this one, we had this connected here. I have moved this off to the side somewhere, so it is, if I just bring it back, because it does, you know, leak fluid. So if I just show you what this is. So this is just this pipe here, and what this does is it leaks fluid. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a spill of fluid. It's starting to leak back out there. Now what I'll do is I'll put this back there. What I've done with this one is I just got it stuck where the linkage is. If I just show you there, so I've got it stuck here where the linkage is in an upward position. Because what it'll do is it'll stop, you know. So if I just get it there, so I didn't remove, as you can see, I didn't remove the and there it is there, and it's not leaking anymore, because if I remove that out of the way, you can see there, that's where it should be leaking from. Because it's upwards, it's not going to leak upwards. This is then the earth wire for sorry, this is then the positive, I believe, or the earth. I'll figure it out, but either way, this is then goes on the back of the starter motor there. I just push this one off to the side as well, and because I haven't removed the battery of the tray, I just kind of push the wires down on the side of them. Then just down here, we've got another wire that I've removed, which I've just pushed behind here. So that's that one there. These are all connected to the starter motor. Now, to get this one off, there's just a little metal clip on it, you can see. And you just pull that metal clip up and pull back. No pressure's needed at all. So that's the wires. So if I show you on the actual starter itself, if we just put the starter there, that's where one of the wires is, that's where the other wire is. And the third wire is, where was the third wire? Oh, it goes into the actual bolt itself, so you've got nothing to worry about there. Basically, it's pretty much self-explanatory. This starter is doing this. The new one doesn't, so I just need to compare them to make sure I'm definitely putting the right starter in. I don't want to put the wrong one in. Once you've done that, you've got two bolts. Oh, you've also got this bracket, which you can just remove here with a, which socket did I use? I think it was a 13. Yep, so it's a 13. So your top bolt, which is a top nut, which is a 16, is just here. Take that off with a 16-inch, and then your second one is there, but your starter's in the way. So you've got a bracket that comes here. You can just remove that bracket. Once you've removed that bracket, I just put my fingers down here, and I could feel where this one was. Came in from the back of it, and this is what I've came in with. This is literally what I've used. So it's a reducer with an extension bar and a non-impact, what size was it? I believe it was, yeah, it was an 18. Sorry, the nut's not 16, it's an 18 with an extremely long, flexible head. Because if you look there, see, it's flexible. Just makes it, I didn't need the flexible part, but it does make it a lot more easier. You can see here I've got another extension bar just in case I needed it. Again, I didn't. I've got the spanner just in case I needed that. I've got the extendable ratchet, got a flathead screwdriver, got the electronic ratchet, got a pry bar. Didn't use that, didn't use that, didn't use that. Did use the screwdriver because I didn't have my pick tool to hand. But I recommend you using your pick tool just because you don't want to do anything to that. Didn't use that, did use that, didn't use that. So it's literally very easy in that sense. And once you've done it, the starter will just drop down, you'll just lift it out. You can do it from the bottom if you want. I'd say you need to remove the under tray. If you do want to do that, you'll still need to remove the airbox to get the top nut, but then you just go underneath the car and remove the bottom nut. I've just done it all from the top. I'm going to close it back up from the top as well. Make sure when you're doing it, you don't have an electrical live on it. So it's literally as easy as that. This new one will go in. I'll bolt it up first, put the brackets on, then I'll put the wiring in last. Once that's all done, I'll close this all up. I'll go back to the car, connect the diagnostics, clear the fault code out, fire it up, and we should be good to go. But it is literally as simple as that. This one again is a 2016 Passat. However, if yours has got similar issues, or even if your engine bay looks similar to this, it'll be the similar fault. Now guys, if you need any help or you've got any questions, just put them in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer you back. As usual, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.